A bike. Jordan Harris, 17A, Ben Lau, 20J, 44A, Jerry Alexander. 30Z, our fast qualifier, has found himself in a last chance qualifier. Bronson Bauman and the 24F, J.R. Addison, also found himself in this race. So these two fast guys have to do it the hard way. They got to come all the way through the last chance qualifier. Row number 2, 57A, Ryan Connolly. 57J, Justin Thomas. 63A, that is Jesse Long. That is your lineup for the GNC2 last chance qualifier. Look how far out the 24F is. Steve Moore has said, not so
we're going to move you over
fast.
here a little bit. Yep.
Yep. They have to start within the first 6 spots. You can't leave any empty spaces. And I know why JR was doing that, because some of the other riders were jumping straight onto the groove as fast as they could.
You know, and I got to give a nod here to Steve Moorhead. If those of you are watching him, he's doing lineup for the first time. He's got a little bit of dirt on him. This is one of the hardest working guys here at the racetrack today. I'm sure he's over there in the corners making sure everybody's okay. Yep. But Steve Moorhead working hard out there on behalf of all the racers.
Here we go. First yellow light, second yellow light. It's green in a hurry. That one went really fast to go into the first corner. Cameron Smith grabs a whole shot in his first ever pro race. He's on the Bear Racing number 15A. Cameron Smith just turned 16, moved up to pro. He is leading the last chance qualifier. Chris.
Yeah, good start, good job. What he needed to do, control this race from the front. Very difficult track to pass. We'll see if he can hold the line in 3 and 4. He does. Gets it turned.
Has some fast guys right behind him, including the 24F, J.R. Addison. Behind him is our fast qualifier, Bronson Bauman. Here they come trying to make a move. It's Cameron Smith lead the way.
Well, the position on the racetrack that Addison and Bauman are in right now is good for them. They can figure out, all right, is there a way to make a pass here, and use that for the main event. Smith out front, doing a good job, holds a good line into turn 3, says, hey, you guys are going to have to work for it to get by me, and doing a good job at the front in his first pro effort.
Out front, Cameron Smith, the 15A, J.R. Addison holding off a hard-charging 30Z Bronson Bauman. Like you said, they're trying to find a new way to pass as Addison hits the same bump. Here comes Bauman, comes right on by.
Yeah, that was a big mistake there. Had a big handful of handlebars there. And Bauman was able to sneak up underneath, get a good drive, and have his momentum going by.
Was that a mistake, or did he hit that bump over there? I mean,
well, he hit the bump, and I think right now we could say it's a mistake to hit the bump
because everybody knows where it's at, because they've seen it lap after lap.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise to anybody anymore. It's not like it's reaching out and grabbing them. These guys know where it's at. They're going to have to start figuring out a way. As Bauman shows the wheel up the inside through 3 and 4 as we hit the halfway here, trying to find a way by. Get himself into the lead.
And he backed off going into turn 1. He's going to set him up and try to come off the corner and come off of turn 2 and take the lead and maybe get around that bump without hitting it. Smooth exit for both riders off there. Down the back straightaway, Bauman takes a look up the inside. Cameron Smith's trying to shut the door.
Squeezes it up in there, up the inside.
Nice.
Smith does a good job. There's a lot of short track action there in Pennsylvania. He knows how to hold the inside line.
Cameron Smith doing a fantastic job out front. The 15A, 30Z, Bronson Bauman's going to have to find a way to go around him possibly, or unless he can get a better drive and then beat him to the next corner. Here they come down the back straightaway.
Good drive off turn 2 by Bauman. That time he's able to carry the momentum by. Good pass. So you notice both those riders were going underneath the bump coming off of turn 2. I'm hoping the GNC1 guys saw that.
And hey, maybe they're listening in. They can figure out what's going on, or they're watching on fanschoice.tv on their smartphone down there in the pit area. It's Bronson Bauman out front. Lombardi's Harley-Davidson rider pulling away now in the lead. Cameron Smith settles into second. J.R. Addison's in third. And Ben Lau, the 20J, he's got somebody right on his heels. That'll be Jordan Harris, the 17A, trying to make this main event.
Well, and immediately Bauman opens up a couple bike length gap with 1 lap to go here. It'd be interesting to watch what kind of lap times he turns at. 23.666, equal times to the GNC1 heat race winner of Jared Means.
And Smith hits the bump coming off of turn 2. That allows Bauman to sneak away a little bit. Like you said, the fast lap was just that last one by your leader. Bronson Bauman slips a little bit wide coming off of 4. He's got a big enough lead. He's going to hang on to the win. Bauman wins the last chance qualifier. Cameron Smith settles for second. Third is going to be J.R. Addison. And fourth is Ben Lau. So Jordan Harris, who was here for the media day on Thursday, comes up just a little bit short, as well as Jerry Alexander, Ryan Connolly, Justin Thomas, and Jesse Long did not start the event. So a Harley-Davidson takes the win with Bronson Bauman behind the wheel, or behind the controls, the handlebars, no wheels on these things. Cameron Smith comes in second, J.R. Addison third, Ben Lau fourth, Jordan Harris, Jerry Alexander, Ryan Connolly, 57A followed by the 57J, Justin Thomas and Jesse Long round out the top 9 finishers here in our GNC2 Last Chance Qualifier. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, after this winning interview, will be our GNC1 Dash for Cash. 4 laps to earn $1,000 and 1 point. That is up next. Here we go. Let's go trackside with Danny Medine and Bronson Bauman. Danny?
All right, thanks, Scotty. You guys make some noise for Bronson Bauman. Taking it in, transferring in from the LCQ to the main event. Bronson, you actually went off the track earlier in a heat race. What was that like?
Oh, it was really Western. I mean, I felt like John Wayne out there. I mean, just, would you look at it? I mean, hopefully we can get a replay of it. I went flying. It was cool.
So did you make some changes this time around?
Can't really say that, but the bike's definitely working really good.
All right, what are your expectations? You're going into the main event. You can do some damage?
We're going to try and, we're on the 3rd row. We're going to pick off as many people as we can. Of course, we're heading towards the front as always, and hopefully we don't make any more mistakes. Actually, the reason why I went off the track is I bent my shifter down over my brakes and had no rear brakes, so I went flying. But hopefully that doesn't happen again, and we work our way up to the front.
All right, good luck to you, Scotty and Chris. Back to you guys.
Here we go. The Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance Hines Dash for Cash. Your pole setter chooses the outside. That's the number 1, Jared Meese. 66 wide, Dominic Calendris has 2nd pick. 65, Corey Texter, 3rd pick. 4th pick is the 2, Kenny Coolbeth. 5th pick, the Don's Kawasaki entry. 23, Jeffrey Carver. And the last rider on the front row, way on the inside, national number 69, Slammin' Sammy Halbert. Dash for Cash, 1 point to win, $1,000 to the winner. This could have some championship implications if the number 1 bike can take the victory in this Dash for Cash. It is 4 laps, ladies and gentlemen. These are the top 2 riders from all 3 of our GNC1 heat races. Here we go. 10-second board. It's down. The first light is on. It's red. There are 2 yellow lights, and then we go green. Here we go. Dash for Cash at the Roar on the Shore. Light is green, and they are off into the first corner. Coolbeth from the inside, but Meese from the outside shifts the gears. They shift on the right side of the motorcycles. On the Harleys, we got to watch them shift up to the gear they want to be in. It is Meese, and now Coolbeth pulls the front wheel in 2nd.
Yeah, hits that bump coming off of turn 2. I'm sure he'll remember where that is next time around. Equally important, this 1 point for the 2 of Coolbeth and the 69 of Sammy Halbert. Those guys need to keep Jared Meese from earning that to improve their chances for the championship.
I watched the number 1 and the 2 working the front end down there in turns 3 and 4. What are they doing turning the handlebars back and forth?
Well, it's one of those things you can go into the corner and sometimes you can turn the front wheel under and reduce the speed of the motorcycle and keep it on line. If you just flick the rear end out and you keep the front end straight, a lot of times the bike wants to go straight. Great run by Coolbeth, coming off of 4, doing what he needs to do.
Halfway flags are in there. Coolbeth goes to the front, the number 2, Zanotti Racing Harley, and he is out front. That takes 1 point away from Meese if he can't get back up there. Here comes the Don Kawasaki of the 23, Jeffrey Carver. It's Coolbeth into turn number 3. Meese in tow. Jeffrey Carver in the 3rd spot.
Lickety split up front with 1 lap to go. Kenny Coolbeth doing a great job and marching away from our point leader.
He's had some bad luck this season. He's putting things together this time by his lap time, 2:3.698 off of turn number 2. Kenny Coolbeth, the old man of the bunch, pulling away on the number 2 bike. Meese throws it in hard back there in 2nd. Carver's right there in 3rd. Your Dash for Cash winners coming off of turn number 4. It's the king of cool, 3-time champ, Kenny Coolbeth with a little fist pump. That's how excited he was to win this Dash for Cash on the Zanotti Harley-Davidson. His best lap, 2:3.698. Kenny Coolbeth takes home the victory. Jared Meese gets 2nd, 2 Harleys, 1st and 2nd. Kawasaki back there in 3rd. Jeffrey Carver, 69. Sammy Halbert, 4th. The Yamaha, 5th of Dominic Calendris, and Corey Texter back there in 6th spot. What a race that was.
Well, you know, we talk about the 2 championship contenders, and we talk about Sammy Halbert, an outsider looking in. Kenny Coolbeth only about 8 points behind Sammy Halbert. He's still not out of this. He kept the guys in front of him from scoring a point, got the point himself. Great job for him. He's looking good. Another performance like that in the main event, and we could be talking about him when we get to Calistoga as well.
Absolutely. So Kenny Coolbeth takes home the victory of the Dash for Cash and $1,000, and he's taking off his helmet right now, and he's caught up with Danny Medine. Danny, take it away.
Delaware, make some noise for that Dash for Cash and Kenny Coolbeth Jr. I have to say that is one of my favorite parts about AMA Pro Flat Track. Kenny, you are my pick tonight, which we have discussed. So is this a preview of what's to come?
I hope so. You know, everything's going well. We just need to keep doing what we're doing, and Dave Atherton's got this thing running awesome, and I'm pumped.
Talk about that pass on Jared.
Yeah, I was getting awesome runs and coming off a 4 here, and just put my head down coming off, and got a good bite, and just ran it up by him.
So what do you like about Delaware?
Delaware, look at the fans, man, awesome.
Do you like it? Do you guys like flat track? Yeah? All right, Kenny, you're going to the main event. Good luck to you. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
What a race that was. Coolbet takes the Dash for Cash win. He has first pick in the main. Up next, the GNC 1 semifinal number 1. There's 2 more qualifying races. We'll take the top 3 finishers directly to the main event. On the pole, the big number 44, Brandon Robinson from Oxford, Pennsylvania, on the latest Motors Castrol Triumph. 17, Henry Wiles, Crystal, Michigan. 53, Don Taylor, Port Colborne, Ontario, Canada. Easy for me to say. 16, Wyatt McGuire, Meade, Washington. 58, Adam Carpinello, East Greenbush, New York. 83S, Mike Poe, Timonium, Maryland. That is your front row. Row number 2, 96, Cody Johncox. 32, Sean Bear. 93, Danny Kelch. 14B's, Brian Hazel, and his brother's right beside him. That's the 41 of Brad Hazel. Last rider on row number 2, 64C, Jerry Steele. And way back there in the third row, one of the riders that crashed in one of his heat races, the 27 of Bugs. That's Robbie Pearson. And he is one of the riders that has a choice. He can either ride a Harley-Davidson that he owns, or he can ride the Waters Auto Body KTM. Not sure which bike he's on. He's near the tail end of the field, so we got a good look at the Zanatti racing bike that Henry Wiles. Remember, Henry was having some problems riding that bike, like it was bucking even down the straightaways.
Yeah, he's been fighting a little bit of suspension issues, been trying to find a good setup, but looking at the back of the field there, we see the Pearson is on the KTM, so his Harley-Davidson, I think, got wrecked pretty good going down in his heat race. He's elected to start this semi from the third row on a KTM.
Adam Carpinello right there, the 58, near the inside. And there is Mike Poe on the very inside. Here we go, our first GNC 1 semifinal. Top 3 to the main event. Watch the light, and then they are off. Light turns green in a hurry. They go into the first corner. Don Taylor snags the hole shot. The Canadian champion will lead him into the first corner. Wiles is right there in second. Then we have Poe up the inside, and now Robinson takes over the third spot. Down the back straightaway. Here we go.
Yeah, Wiles got a good run. Looked like he had a run around the outside, but Taylor holds on to the lead going into 3.
Woo!
Gets a little wide, and Wiles up the inside coming off of turn 4.
Wiles knows he has to pounce, and when the door opens, you have to take advantage of it. Wiles goes to the lead. Robinson follows him on through to second, so Don Taylor goes from first to third in one corner. Off of turn number 2, it's still Wiles. A few bikes still hitting that bump coming off of 2. Wiles, Robinson, and Don Taylor. So far, so good for the top 3.
Well, Wiles setting a good pace. This is the best he's looked all day long, the most comfortable. He's able to roll the thing through the middle of turns 1 and 2, kind of wait a little bit, turn the thing hard underneath that bump at the exit. If he can continue to do that, running the best laps that he's run all day long, we either got a track speeding up or these guys are making the necessary chassis adjustments to move on forward.
Wiles' bike definitely looks better. Here's the battle for the transfer spot. The 53 on the KTM, that's the Waters Auto Body KTM. Don Taylor hanging on to it right now. Mike Poe's looking for his first ever Grand National. He needs to pick up one more spot, and then right behind him is Wyatt McGuire. He knows how to get it done. He's a last year's Rookie of the Year. He's showing a wheel. Now he slips a little bit wide. And he hits the bump coming off of 2. So McGuire's letting it all hang out, trying everything he can. Right now, here comes Poe up the inside of Don Taylor.
Straight line, oh, makes contact.
And they touch. The bike goes by itself. They touch. Don Taylor's up out of harm's way. He's not going to be a happy camper right now as they make contact, battling for that last transfer spot. And the red flag comes out really fast on that one.
Yeah, that was certainly poor judgment coming up the inside. There wasn't really, I think he did everything he could to keep from hitting him, but it was kind of a late dodge to the inside. Takes out the handlebar, the 53 of Don Taylor, and he goes down. Tough break for Don. Certainly nothing he could do on that one.
Well, let's take a look at the replay. Don Taylor, again, this was for the battle for the third spot. Don Taylor had it coming off for turn number 2 on the 53 KTM. Mike Poe, the 83S, looking for his first ever Grand National main event. He's from nearby Maryland. He goes up the inside, going into turn number 3. Mike Poe, again, on the 83S. Taylor gets a little bit sideways, and Poe left it on a little longer.
Left it on a little longer, tries to squeeze up the inside. Not enough room there. Grabs the handlebar right out from Don Taylor. He has nowhere to go. McGuire doing a good job of keeping from running into the motorcycle of Don Taylor's. But a tough break for the Canadian. certainly not a good welcome to the United States on that one.
Well, and I talked to Don Taylor earlier at the hotel. He said, I'm going to run all season next year. He said he took some time off this year, had his first baby. He's got a little baby at home up in Canada. Did not make the trip this year or this race. So they're getting the bike checked out. They're supposed to take it to the hot box to work on it. But Dave Waters, he sticks a starter and plugs in a starter on the side of the bike and fires up that thing. All he has to do is, looks like he's touching the button with his foot. They're going to fire up. I believe Danny's caught up with one of our riders. Danny, take it away.
All right, thanks, Scotty. Brandon Robinson making an appearance in the semifinal tonight. What's going through your head right now?
Just trying to figure the track out, This is kind of unfamiliar territory for us for sure this year, but we're trying to make something work. We've been making a bunch of changes all night long, and then hopefully we can get this latest motorcycle triumph a little bit better.
You told me you had high expectations coming into this race. Do you think you're going to be able to pull off a win here?
It's going to be really tough with the way the track is, and especially if we're not even in it yet, and if we do, we're going to come from the third row, so that's going to be extremely difficult.
All right, well, good luck to you, Scotty and Chris. Back to you guys.
So the crowd puts their hands together. The 53's made it to the hot box. Looks like he's going to make the restart right now. I believe he's going to stay to the primary bike. I think we're going to take a look at the replay one more time. Again, 53 had the transfer spot. 83S taking a look up the inside. Good move, bad move, aggressive move.
Poor judgment, I would say. I'm not going to say good, bad, or indifferent, but that was it was fairly early in the race. We still had 7 laps to go in that particular semifinal. I think that you could have shown a little bit more patience on that one.
So Mike Poe's down there. I believe Danny's caught up with Mike Poe, and he's the one that got up inside of the 53. Danny, you got Mike down there?
I do have Mike down here. Can you kind of take us through what happened out there?
It's a little tight racing out here. I mean, we got pretty much a one-line racetrack, and if you got to get a wheel in there, you kind of have to take advantage of it. And it's almost like short track in here. It's kind of like Daytona. Just got to try to get positioned when you can and get out front.
Is it pretty easy to kind of be overly aggressive out here?
Yeah, it's a little easy. I mean, there's a decent amount of traction out here on the groove around the bottom. So if you can keep it on there, you can you can pretty much go where you need to go and put the power to the ground. So hopefully we can try to march forward here and put it in the main event.
Well, hey, we finally got to talk. You keep telling me that. He's like, I want to get an interview. I want to get an interview. So is this everything you expected?
It's everything I expected. I mean, it's always a good feeling being up here, putting a show on for all these fans. I mean, it's motorcycle racing at its finest. It doesn't get any better than this.
All right, Mike, you just said that. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Sounds good. So Mike Poe now finds himself in the third spot. So if he can hang on to that for 7 more laps, he'll be in a transfer. We're going to have our first staggered start of the night. You can see him painting the lines on the front straightaway. The pole setter can either go inside or outside. It seems like most of the people in the heat races have picked the outside, and now let's explain the staggered start. It's our first time here at Delaware International Speedway. What's the reasoning for the staggered restart?
Well, they stagger them. In the old days, they would line them up nose to tail, and if somebody had an issue, I mean, you pretty much ran into the back of the rider in front of you. So they're still the same distance apart. They just staggered them one bike width to the outside or the inside, depending on where the leader picks. Looks like the leader's going to go to the inside, so one bike link back and one bike link width over will be the second rider, and then so on and so forth until we get to the 6th rider, and then we start coming back to the inside.
So it zigzags back and forth. I believe Danny's caught up with our rider that went down, Don Taylor. Danny?
I do. Don Taylor, first off, how are you feeling right now?
I'm all good.
All right, well, that's a good start. Can you kind of take us through what happened out there?
It's just it's a tight track, and there's not too much ways to get around people. So Mike just got in underneath me and moved me out of the way, and that's racing.
All right, well, good luck to you guys. We're going green.
All right, thanks a lot, Danny. Good insight right there. So that's just a racing deal, so it doesn't sound like he's too upset. But, he was in a transfer spot on that KTM. I know it would have been nice for him to make the main event. Now, if he's going to do it, he's got to start deep in the field. That's what I was talking about right there. We got a good look at the Dave plugs that in, touches a button with his foot, and that starts up that KTM Duke right there. It's a 990 Super Duke.
I believe that's the electric start, and they just use an auxiliary battery in order to charge the electric start. So that's still on the motorcycle. It doesn't take charge out of the motorcycle or the battery on the motorcycle.
Henry Wiles does pick the outside. Where we looked at it looked like they started on the inside, but Wiles will be the pole setter, and he starts on the outside because he was leading when the red light came out. 44 is Robinson in second. Third is 83S Mike Poe. If he makes the main event next year, he will have a national number for the first time in his career. 16 starts fourth. That's Wyatt McGuire. 96 John Cox is fifth. Beside him is Carpinello. And the 41 of Brad Hazel. Here we go. Restart. GNC1 semifinal number 1, top 3 to the main event. Light turns green. Robinson pulls the front wheel, trying to pull his way into the first corner first. It's Wiles with the hole shot. Robinson in second. McGuire's back there in the third spot. Those three trying to get away from everybody. So McGuire picks up a position. He's in a transfer. Where did the fourth place rider go? And here comes the 53 up to the fifth spot.
Yeah, Don Taylor all the way up to the fifth spot. Good job for him. Got a good run around the outside. Got his momentum going to 83S. I'm not sure what happened to him, but that pass, maybe that was a little bit of karma here. But Don Taylor doing a great job trying to get back going to the front here.
He slips wide. Now the Hazel brothers trying to go back by him. So Don Taylor riding the wheels off the KTM, trying to work his way up there. Out front still Wiles. Second is Robinson. Third is McGuire. McGuire, last year Saddlemen Seats and Saddlebags Rookie of the Year. Halfway flags are in the air for Henry Wiles. He looks much better in this race than he did in his heat race.
He certainly does. Looks like the bike is handling a lot better. He's putting it where he wants. He's into a lot more control. Looks to be much smoother, not fighting the motorcycle like he had been earlier in the evening. And a good job for Brandon Robinson. Great lap time by Henry Wiles at 23.661. Certainly his fastest lap of the day. As we look at the 96 of Cody Johncox in the fourth spot, trying to make the main event, needs to get one more position, needs to march down the 16 of Wyatt McGuire to do so.
John Cox takes a look down as he comes off turn number 2. Maybe he's trying to get focused on the 16 bike right in front of him. He needs to pick up one more spot to transfer to the main. Top 3 is all we have room for in this one. One more qualifying race after this one. McGuire looks like he's trying to catch up to the 44 Robinson.
Yeah, I don't know if he really wants to make a move unless it's an easy one, because he's in position. It's type of racetrack. You get too aggressive, you make a big mistake, you lose a bunch of ground. So being cautious here while trying to take advantage of maybe a slip or a bobble from the 44.
Is he learning anything right now that will help him in the main event?
Well, I would think they all are. Right now, these guys with a couple laps left are going to go, hey, I just want to get it in the main event now. I'm not worried about learning anything. I just want to do my laps, get my spot in the final.
All right, laps winding down. White flag's going to fly for Wiles. Last time by a 2:3.506. He's laying down some blistering fast laps. White flag is out for Wiles. Robinson and McGuire, your top 3. This is John Cox's last-ditch effort. Can he get up there and pass the 16? I think McGuire's got too much room on him.
I believe he does. Here is Wiles looking good down the back straightaway, has righted the ship, been struggling all day long into the middle of 3 and 4, taking it to the line.
That is going to put the second Zanatti Harley-Davidson into the main event. There's Wiles taking the win as we see Poe walking his way back to the pit area. Robinson second, McGuire third, John Cox, Carpinello, Don Taylor, Hazel, Bugs Pearson, Danny Kelch, Hazel, and the 64C of Jerry Steele all coming across the finish line. A tough break for Mike Poe. He's up there, had himself into a transfer spot, didn't get going off the line, might have had some problems shifting the bike. Something could have happened. We can't see from our vantage point, but Mike Poe walks his machine back to the pit area. Tough break for him. Wiles takes the win on the 17 bike. Robinson second, Wyatt McGuire is third. Those are your transfers. Cody John Cox, Adam Carpinello, Don Taylor, Brian Hazel, Robbie Pearson, Danny Kelch, and Brad Hazel. That is your top 10. It's getting really loud in here. I don't know if you can hear it, Chris, but man, it's fired up. Everybody's excited to be here in Delaware. Let's go trackside with Danny Medine. Danny?
Delaware, make some noise, please, for Henry Wiles taking that semi-1 win. Clean track out front. Give us 1 second. We're struggling up here.
The stand broke.
Clean track out front, Henry. Take us through that race. Were you trying anything that you're going to pull into the main event?
Yeah, after my heat race, I knew we had gotten the bike to a really good spot. We struggled a little bit early on and put us on the second row, so that kind of messed up our day. But the Zanatti bike feels great. Michelle DeSelva, my mechanic, Steve Polk, Dave Zanatti, John Cornwell, and Olins. We've all been working really close together and trying to get everything dialed in. And it's really getting there. It was a lot of fun to ride. I figured out a few little things about it and try to make it a little better for the main event and have some fun.
All right, well, good luck to you. I think you got a good plan under you. So, Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. It's time for our final qualifying race of the evening here at the Roar on the Shore. This will be the GNC1 semifinal number 2. On the poles, the 29 of Mattia. He was our heat race leader early on. 55, Jake Shoemaker. 20T, Mikey LaBelle. Starting fourth, 35S, Dalton Winkler. 82, Jeremy Higgins. And 52, Shayna Texter. She's on the front row. of this one. Row number 2, the 89 Evan Bear, 12 Jay Maloney, 15 scheduled to be out there is Nicole Meese. They did take her to get checked out at the hospital. Heard she's responding. Everything's A-okay. They're just making sure. Safety precaution. 80 Stevie Bonzi, 69F Ben Evans, 91 also scheduled to be out there is Mikey Martin. He went down in practice. He is a scratch for this one. So row number 3 is the 28P Michael Bickerton from Alexis, Illinois. Back to our row number 3 by himself. Now we'll see if Mattia can hold things together for 10 laps to put it in the main.
Yeah, get a good start. Certainly struggled in his heat race. Led 3 or 4 laps and then steadily worked his way backwards to see if he can right the ship this time around. As we see, take a look at the 55 of Jake Shoemaker on the Bonneville Performance Castrol Triumph. See if he can put the second Triumph into the main event as his unofficial teammate Brandon Robinson did in the previous semi.
Absolutely. So here we go, getting ready to go with our second semi. This is our last qualifier here tonight. After this race, we will have 2 main events. GNC 2 main event will be first, followed by our 25-lap Grand National main event. Bikes are getting staged up. Make sure they're exactly where they're supposed to be starting. Circling back around is the 80 of Stevie Bonzi. He did go down in the very first practice session today, tore up some equipment, but he's got everything dialed in.
Back on switching motorcycles again, maybe for the second or third time today. We'll be starting from the 4th row.
So Canadian rider right there in the middle of the front row. That's the 20T Mikey LaBelle. Doug Lawrence is not here. He's trying to wrap up the Canadian Championship here this weekend, and that might earn him a spot
Super Prestigio of the Americas as a Canadian flat track champion.
I was waiting for that. Here they go. Light turns green. Winkler grabs the hole shot, the 35S. Mattia goes to the high side. Is he going to go out there too far wide? He's trying to squeeze it back down. LaBelle's right there on the bright green Kawasaki. Here they come off at 2. Down the back straightaways. Dalton Winkler, Jake Mattia, Mikey LaBelle, and everybody else. Look at this one.
Tough, tight. Oh, we have a rider down. Not sure who that was that went down. I know Jake Shoemaker was coming up from the 3rd spot.
That might be Mattia on the 29 bike, I believe. I didn't see him come by.
Might have been the 29 of Jake. Not sure how that happened. We'll have to take another look at it if it's possible.
Looks how important are these races right now, Chris? This is the last chance to qualify. If you don't finish in the top 3 spots, you are done until they reschedule the Calistoga race. We're hearing that's going to be later in October. If they get those fires taken care of out there, they're using the racetrack as a refuge spot for everybody that doesn't have a house. Also people, the firefighters out there using it. So we're going to take a look at the replay, see what we can find out, and let you folks know.
Headed off into turn 3. Jake Shoemaker up the inside, hits the 29 of Jake Mattia. Mattia goes down immediately. Tough break for Jake, but a good drive off of turn 2 by Jake Shoemaker. Gets a little aggressive going into turn 3 and puts the 29 down.
Just like in the last one, that was the battle for the last transfer spot. This time is the 55 and the 29. Shoemaker on the Triumph. That's the Bonneville Performance Castrol Triumph. And the 29, Jake Mattia, who's on the McGrain Racing Scott Power Sports Kawasaki, the 2 riders that were involved in that one. And we'll see if McGrain can pick him. I'm sorry.
Jake Mattia
on the McGrain bike can get himself back up. He crashed earlier in practice. He was involved with the wreck from with Mikey Martin. I do have an update on him. He does have some injuries to his foot. He is okay, though. They get him checked out, possible concussion. So hopefully he'll be all right. Getting some reports from our Twitter feed. And be sure and hit us up on Twitter. Use the hashtag DelawareFT. Chris Carr and myself, we're going to pick a winner in just a little bit. Whoever has the coolest tweet, no pictures are allowed. But when are we going to pick the winner of that? A little bit later on during intermission, or when do you want to do that?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we're going to look at one more replay of this incident going into turn number 3. Winkler had the hole shot, the 35S, and it happened right behind him. There's
that point there.
Oh, we already missed it. Well, there goes Mattia sliding on his rear end across the turn number 3. So he got in there and got a little contact, and I believe Danny's down there with one of our female riders, Shayna Texter. Danny?
All right, thanks you guys. Shayna, you had a great weekend in Springfield. Let's kind of talk about that. That was the first main event that you have made this season. Now you're in the semifinals, hoping to transferring on. What are you kind of thinking right now?
Yeah, right now just trying to keep it on 2 wheels. There's a lot of banging out there going on, and it's important to keep it on 2 wheels if you want to make the main event. So my focus right now is get a good start and try and be aggressive right off the line.
You've had a lot of changes this season. You're constantly having to battle bike issues and changes. Has it been a journey? Has it been frustrating? What are you kind of feeling about that?
Yeah, it's definitely been an adventure. You know, I've changed teams, I've changed manufacturers this year, I've changed frame brands this year. So it's been an adventure, but you know, it's racing. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Exactly. It doesn't get. You can't say it any better than that. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
That's the thoughts of the 52, Shayna Texter. They're still trying to get the 29 bike, Jake Mattia. He's still sitting over there in turn number 3. Looks like he's on the motorcycle, and he's going to try to get that bike over to the hot box, and if it's ready to go, we should fire him back up. This is our last qualifying race. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, will be our second scheduled intermission. Right now, it's 10 minutes is the scheduled time for that. Last chance to grab yourself something to eat or drink and get ready for the 2 main events. GNC 2 main event will be first. GNC 1 main event will be our last race of the night. The pits will be open. You can go down there and meet your favorite riders after the final race of the night. So Mattia pulls the 29 bike back up to the hot box. As soon as that track's ready to go, we're going to fire him up and go racing. Chris?
All right, we're going to send it down to Danny Medine, standing by with Jake Mattia.
Danny?
All right, thanks, Chris. He's my Minnesota boy. We haven't gotten a chance to talk at all so far this season. You went down in the corner. It's been a struggle for a lot of people. Can you kind of take us through what happened?
Yeah, I had a decent start there, but dropped down to the bottom of the line in third. Felt like I was going good, and then I had my handlebars taken out. I'm not sure who it was, but it's a pretty dirty move, and it's too bad that way to end our night like this.
This track, the corners are tough. There's not a lot of room to pass. Is there a strategy that you guys are thinking out there, or are you just kind of trying whatever you can?
Just get a good start here, and pretty much the only thing you do is pull putt right in the bottom. It's too bad there's not a little bit more moisture in the track to go up high and make some passes, but you just have to get a good start, and we're in the back of the pack now.
Well, hey, you're in one piece, so there's nothing wrong with that. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Yeah, tough break from Mattia. Remember, he was in the lead of his heat race. He was in a transfer spot right now. It looked like there was some contact between him and the 55 of Shoemaker on the Triumph. Again, they were battling back there for the second and third spot. Dalton Winkler, one heck of a hole shot. He had a really good first lap going on the 35S.
Yeah, good start by Dalton. He's going to do everything he can to see if he can repeat it. These guys line back up. You know, we've seen some hole shots from the 4th position. That's where Dalton is lined up. He was 4th to the inside. We've seen actually hole shots from everywhere. We've seen him from the inside. We've seen him from the outside. We have seen him from the middle of the racetrack. So there's really no advantage, but it appears that they are going to put the 55 of Jake Shoemaker on the back row with the rider that he put down, the 29.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
This is very interesting. I guess in some ways he's responsible for the red flag too. It wouldn't have come out had he not made that contact with the 29. But you know, in other respects, we saw it happen in other races, and we didn't see riders get put back. So,
right.
In some ways, I like what I'm seeing, but in other ways, it is a bit of a shock.
So the red flags came out a couple of times. Usually we race until we see red or checkered. It's happened a couple of times. Usually when one rider goes down, we usually just see a caution, but they want to make sure our down rider was checked out and okay. So complete restart. Semi-final number 2, GNC 1 class. Watch the green light. We're going racing. Last qualifying race of the night. Winkler grabs the hole shot once again, the 35S. He's getting through the gears pretty fast. Here comes Higgins up the inside. Jeremy Higgins with an aggressive move to take the lead.
And around the outside, the 20T of Mike LaBelle slots into second. So Winkler had a good start, but finds himself in 4th coming off the corners. The 89 of Evan Bear coming from the 5th starting spot, finds himself in 3rd.
Battle for the lead off of turn number 2. Mikey LaBelle's trying to go to the front. Higgins trying to block him down the front straightaway, so it's Hollywood Higgins out front. 2nd, Mikey LaBelle from Ontario, Canada. 3rd spot, the 89. That is Evan Bear trying to make the main on his KTM.
Yeah, doing a good job there in 3rd spot, doing what he needs to do, running somewhat defensive. Said, all right, guys, if you're going to go by me, you got to go around the outside.
So it's Hollywood Higgins out front. That's Jeremy Higgins, 82. Mikey LaBelle's looking up the inside every chance he get. Evan Bear's right there in the 4th spot. Look who's in 4th is the 29.
Jake Mattia doing a great job coming from row 4 on the inside on his start. Finds himself in 4th, outside looking in, and might have a chance to take a peek into the main event.
Something just flew off the bottom. There's pipes on the racetrack.
I don't know if those exhaust pipes or if that was a fork guard or what it was, but some debris flying on the back straightaway.
It looked like pipes to me. I don't know. Somebody pulled off on the racetrack, so we're going to get over there for the first time.
Might have been Dalton Winkler backing up there. It appeared that it may have come from his motorcycle.
So Higgins will take him off of turn number 2. One bike pulls out of the way. The pipes are still on the right. It looks like a tail section almost. Something's
tail
out there on the
section
track.
laying on the middle of the blue groove coming off of turn 2.
It's out front. It's Higgins, the 82. Here's LaBelle in second. Third is the 89 of Bear. Here comes Mattia looking for a way in.
And we see the 80 of Stevie Bonzi starting to catch up as well. Wants to see if he can have a shot to get in the main event.
Woo! They all get by. Whatever that is on the back straightaway, no harm, no foul. It's a battle for 4th place now. Bonzi
around the outside, trying to creep around the outside edge. Good job.
Wow, what a move by Bonzi, but here comes the 29, says not so fast. I want that transfer spot. Look at the battle. Here comes Shoemaker on the 55. He's trying to get back up there and get in the main event also on the 55.
Yeah, both riders, all 3 of those riders, the 29, the 80, and the 55 coming from row 4.
Wow.
As they get tight going into turn 3. Bonzi doing everything he can, try and gain some momentum. Oh, a little contact made from the 55 with the number 80 of Steve Bonzi.
So Shoemaker gets into the number 80 bike coming off of 4. Here goes the 29. He's tired of following. He goes around the outside. The first outside pass of the night. It's Mattia into the 3rd spot.
That was a fantastic pass by Jake Mattia. Just rolled it around the outside edge. 55 is Shoemaker up the inside. Gets it, squeezes in a little bit. Bonzi takes advantage. Comes right back by.
Wow.
This is starting to get a little heated for this last transfer position.
Everybody.
As 80 up the inside makes his pass on the 89 of Evan Bear. 55 comes through. These guys are going at it. They want a shot.
The both of them hit the bump coming off of 2. I'm talking about 29 and 80. That is Mattia and Bonzi back there battling for that 3rd and 4th spot. Anybody can do it. One rider slips wide. That's Bonzi. He goes back to 4th. Shoemaker comes up there, takes that 4th spot away. Now he sets his sights on the 29 of Mattia. Those are the 2 riders that got into it on the 1st lap.
It is, and here they are fighting for last position. 80, Bonzi getting aggressive up the inside. Tries to move the 55 of Shoemaker over. Nothing's going there.
And that's good for Mattia that let the 80 and the 55 battle each other. Now Jake's right there. Now here comes Bonzi back up the inside. These guys are fighting it out. White flags in the air. It's Higgins still out front. LaBelle in second. Now Mattia's in the 3rd spot. Can Bonzi do anything with them? Here they come. Off of turn number 2. Watch the battle for 3rd place, ladies and gentlemen.
Last transfer position. It could get interesting here on the last lap. Let's see what Bonzi has. Goes up the inside. Does a great pass, actually does a bit of a slide job, but unable to hold it coming down. Mattia comes back underneath.
How about it for Mattia? He's been on the ground a few times, got knocked down once, still comes up from the 4th row and makes the main event. All this was going on behind the 82. Jeremy Higgins takes the win on the Kawasaki. Mikey LaBelle finishes second on the 20T. He'll have a national number next year as he makes his first Grand National main event. 29, Jake Mattia is our 3rd and final transfer. Behind him, Stevie Bonzi, Jake Shoemaker, Evan Bear, Michael Bickerton, Jay Maloney, Shayna Texter, Dalton Winkler round out your top 10. Nicole Meese was scheduled to start that one, did not make the start out there. So I bet there's going to be some heated discussions back there in the pit area, but congratulations to Mattia. Picked himself up off the ground 2 times tonight and still puts it in the main event. After this interview, ladies and gentlemen, will be our 2nd and final scheduled intermission here at the Roar on the Shore, Delaware International Speedway. The winner, that's Hollywood Higgins, makes his way to the podium, and he'll catch up with Danny Medine. We'll try to hang on to that motorcycle. We don't want any of those bikes falling down there on the podium. Danny, take it away.
All right, thanks, Scotty. Delaware, make some noise for Jeremy Higgins. Woo! Hey, that restart worked in your favor.
Oh, yeah, it's really tough out here with these guys. They, everyone kind of creeps at the line, and I get a little anxious sometimes. So that first start, I was definitely happy to see the red flag come out, and actually, definitely happy to see that no one was hurt. So just put my head down and really focused on the start, and I mean that's key on this track. There's a 4-foot groove out there, and if you're not on it, you're going backwards. So
we haven't really talked about that bump in the back. What are your thoughts on that?
I caught it once or twice. I don't think it's too terrible. I know if you're in the wrong spot at the wrong time, though, it's definitely gonna send you for a ride. So it is what it is. It's part of the track, and we we're professional riders. We can adapt to the track. So
let's give your sponsors a shout out quick.
Yeah, definitely my parents for sure. They do everything for me. Higgins Racing, I couldn't do it without them. My girlfriend Amber Bear, Bear Racing Products. They helped me so much with this thing. I can't even explain. Ron back home, he couldn't make it out today. Yeah, he was busy racing. So, but Two Moto Company for the awesome T-shirts, West Coast Hot Shoes, Saddlemen, Arai helmets for sure, best lids in the business. So,
just everybody else that helps me out too. You know, I can't thank Access Media Labs enough. So all those guys are just, you know, they're all crucial parts, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but thank you all.
Okay, best of luck to you in the main event. Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Good job down there. Congratulations, Jeremy Higgins. He got to stay up there and talk a little bit because this is our second scheduled intermission, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good time to stretch your legs, get something to eat or drink. Grab the event T-shirt. It's right there behind the grandstands. Let's take another look at the replay of what happened early on in this semifinal number 2. As they come off of turn number 2, things got a little crazy. It's 82 of Higgins. Behind him is LaBelle, 89 of Bear right there in the third spot. Then Mattia fourth. And we're watching a little bit deeper in the field. Something comes off of a motorcycle. It's Dalton Winkler right there, and it does look like a set of pipes come off the motorcycle. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Good call there.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure we could figure out what was going on, and that's why the 35S, who was up there battling for the lead, came up a little bit short. So a tough break for him, and that's why we had the debris on the racetrack. They're trying to watch it. Got out of harm's way. Somebody picked it up out of the way.
We need to pick our 50-50 winner.
Wow. They got loud there for a second.
Yes, it did.
Whew. Maybe we need some